Namaste, angels. This is going to be our weekly love reading for the week of Sunday, October 29th through Saturday, November 4th, which is the full moon, our next full moon. I read about like where it's positioned. I think it was in Taurus in the general reading. Also, I didn't do astronomy this week because it wasn't posted yet and I could have waited. I'm actually doing the reading early again. It's Friday as opposed to Saturday or Sunday. But I just decided like maybe we weren't meant to have it this week because I had so many other things to talk about. There's nothing on the Jewish calendar. Again, all the high holy days were sort of crammed into last month, and it's like smooth sailing. And the next day that we will celebrate or that we'll recognize on this channel is November 19th on the Hebrew calendar. Is the first day of the month of Kislev. Of course, that is also November 19th is also the day that King Osiris directed me to celebrate his birthday. And those of you who've been watching for a while have seen examples, evidence, like time and time again as to why 11, 19 and 19 itself would be associated with King Osiris and or God the Father specifically. So there's that. On the Christian calendar this week, nothing until Halloween, which originally was celebrated as the Feast of All Hallows Eve. And the first day of the dead in Mexico and later on other Latin countries. So I talk about that in the general too. The day after, November 1st, is All Saints Day. And that's a day when all saints canonized, like recognized by the church, and other faithful departed souls we pray for them. They're recognized, celebrated. All Saints Day. All Souls Day is the second, and on that day we would pray for souls that were in limbo, you know, that would otherwise make it to heaven, or what I would see now is an alternate plane of existence that is a paradise one, as opposed to one full of negative energy. If they're somewhere in between, or, you know, not quite there and they need a push, All Souls Day has been the day on which we would pray for those souls to help them continue down their path and make it all the way to paradise. So those are the things that were going on this week. As far as, I didn't do astronomy, I said, as far as astrology, I told you about the full moon. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for this. Now, there might have been some Mercury stuff that I forgot to mention, or something, or Venus stuff that I forgot to mention. There probably is, because both of those have been super active over the past couple of months. There was so much air. Actually, something very, very interesting and quite cool happens with the air in the general reading. So you may want to check that out. I think that's it. Also, I typically don't do this, but I'm getting really tired of having to like basically work for YouTube and post notifications that the readings are up. I don't know why you guys don't get your notifications. It's very, very frustrating. I know to many of you and to me also. Do me a favor, please check and see make sure that the notifications, everything is checked off, everything is turned on. I believe that it is, and it just doesn't matter. It's just not working. And so that I will continue to notify you guys. But what they have told me, because they're like, you know, make sure all your viewers have the check off the bell or click on the bell or whatever, and make sure the notifications are on. But what they have told me also is that, you know, with the liking, sharing, subscribing, that does help to make sure that the videos appear in YouTube, the feeds and everything. So please do that if you are so inclined, and I would appreciate it. And I think that's it. Last week's reading played out for many of us. After I finished the readings, I went to Facebook and I posted that there would definitely be quote unquote breakups, that they would be short-lived, temporary, and that could very likely be, or how long they last, it could very likely be dependent upon the feminine's reaction. As long as she's not like reactionary and doesn't feed any negative energy, sort of like what I showed you guys, that 5 of air, ace of air. I don't remember. We were all air last week. The feminine had no emotions. And sort of like if we didn't put that out into the universe, just don't feed it, then things would begin to work themselves out. So that happened in some cases. In others it didn't. And everybody's meant to have a different experience and have different lessons play out. And so that's happening. I'm working with many of you, Divine Light Cleanse. We had somebody too, and it's somebody, I mean, who really has been supportive of Divine Light Cleanse, has purchased 2 for herself, 2 for a Divine Masculine. So 4 in total, has previously in part, as well as others of my clients, one who has previously in part paid it forward toward another's reading. Well, this week, with everything that was going on and the blessings that she herself has been receiving, she was moved to pay it forward for a complete reading, a complete cleanse, the full $111, essentially a stranger put forth for another stranger. So we're sharing the energy of love, at least among each other, and supporting each other. I also started a prayer circle on my Facebook friends page yesterday, as opposed to my fan page. The friends page is a lot more intimate. I only have like 500 friends, as opposed to on my fan page, I have over 5,000. And I just sort of randomly yesterday was moved to pick a friend and begin to do this on a regular basis for 24 hours. I will ask any other like prayer warriors on my page, those who pray, to please pray for, this sort of friend of the day. And so that's what we're doing. It'll be majority divine feminine, and like supporting one another, but sisters and, brothers welcome too. And, divine masculine welcome too. Selecting random names. If somebody comes and says that they, request prayer, we can do that too. But, I started out randomly and I'm going to continue, and we're just going to send each other love and help to strengthen one another. So that's the energy we're starting with. We're starting with friendship. And I'm starting with that for the cards too. As far as the dice, I'm beginning with buy shoes. It's 50-50 and weekend away. Spirit still wants you to buy shoes. Says romantic dinner, maybe under the full moon, like that card that's in this deck. I think it's called dating. And forget it. With that, I'll go to the crossbred from the perspective of the universe, again, beginning with friendship. And I think that for a lot of the relationships in general, but certainly the divine unions, but then maybe other relationships, other friendships and things, like people are going to be trying to get back to true, supportive and loving friendship. So even where there's been a couple, maybe there's been some distance between you emotionally, maybe physically, and trying to come back together, but like restore the friendship first and foremost. Communication, good way to initiate that and get it going. Communication now on top. And past life. This is why some of us had to separate in order to work on some of these past life, quote unquote, karmic issues. Past life now on top. And there goes the karmic. Speak of the quote unquote devil. Brunette female. Past life and destiny. So like these things are unavoidable. It's no one's fault. There's some stuff we have to go through. Lessons that have to be learned. Maybe involving children or the, other parent of your child. Perhaps particularly the mother with brunette female having shown up. Mother of your child. A past life relationship and a relationship of your past that's getting in the way of your present and your future. So it has to be addressed. Past life, I'll go one more. Boom, there you go. You, a karmic, and the mate. That makes 3. One too many. But you may all be connected from a past life. Who knows how many times, this dance has gone on one way or another. You may have been in a different role, had a different relation to one another at the time, but some of these lessons that we're, trying to finalize now are things that were initiated along the same lines, that we had some sort of connection in a past life. It's triangle. I'm going to cut on this note, although I like to typically wait until there's something a little bit more positive. I'm going to go ahead and let's get into this. Whoop. Okay. Those don't want to be picked up. Let's try again. Oh, great. Triangle. Overall energy is gifts. And for a good bit of it, this is going to have to do with spiritual gifts increasing. For some, I do feel exchanging gifts. I mean, there's probably a handful of people maybe that are celebrating birthdays or something. Or maybe, like I said, when there's some sort of reunion, you might recognize one another, with a gift or something like that. All right, this will represent the divine couple, the recent past, the near future, the masculine's higher self, blocks to the union, what the feminine can do, the masculine can do, further advice from the universe, and the outcome. Overall energy is gifts. Divine couple, dating queen. So I talked about that dating right in the beginning, and I feel that that's more what this is. Again, trying to come back together as friends and then maybe, like gradually rebuild everything and reestablish everything. So this can be like, can I take you out? One way or the other. The feminine inviting the masculine out, the masculine inviting the feminine out. And they may both have other suitors. We already saw with the triangle that there are people hanging around, these unions. They may both be popular, but interested in seeing one another. The recent past. True gem. For some right away, something that I've said before in previous readings, that there was something really like abrupt that occurred around June. I did get feedback from some of you guys on that too. And it's like, that's back again. So maybe some are having to now make up from whatever this is. That doesn't mean they haven't been in contact or anything in the meantime. Some may not have, but I think there was, at minimum, there was distance. For others, I think this could be more positive, and there have been people getting engaged and stuff. And or making some sort of official commitment to one another. The near future. Mature woman. This could be the date of choice. Here. Maybe as opposed to the karmic, for example. The masculine's higher self. Open relationship. Again, for some, this is about commitment and wanting to have the relationship out in the open. We're dating, we're going out, we're in love. And if you like it, good. If you don't, that's okay too. With this mature woman always comes into play too, the aspect of the May-December relationships as well. That there's a lot of, you know, the divine masculine is older or the divine feminine is older and there's like a gap. Or one is really like, quote unquote, mature, reserved, and the other is, you know, like the popular type and youthful and the center of everything. Blocks to the union. Money. So some of us may have wanted to do these things before, maybe get engaged. I can't afford a ring, maybe take you out. I can't afford that. You know, my life has been tough, perhaps because of karmic and children that we're just looking at. You know, I got to handle that. And I don't really have much left over to celebrate. For others, more, not as literal, more metaphorical. And it like took some time for them to realize the value and worth of themselves and of the union. So that distance was necessary. That was one of the lessons. The distance was necessary. Like you know how you miss something? What's that song? Like you never know how much you love her until you let her go. Something like that. Like you don't realize the value and the worth and how much you need and want this situation and person in your life. So that's happening now too. What can the feminine do? This is good or bad. You know, however these things are playing out in your life, it's important to remember that karma is attached and karmic situations. The universe is involved. Karma is at play. And so some of these things are just, again, they're lessons through which we have to go. And we kind of don't get a choice on some of it. Some of it is not free will, right? We have free will to an extent, not in every single case and with regard to every single thing. The masculine, seeking freedom to be out in the open, financial freedom in order to be able to afford the things he wants to do and buy, and sort of I'm getting this to have him feel more, I don't want to say equal, but I guess that's kind of what it is. Have him feel more lateral to the feminine, and maybe in particular where there's a case of a May-December relationship, especially if the feminine is older, you know, he still wants to feel like the king, and that's the queen. You know, not that they aren't equivalent, but they're different, right? There's two different archetypes and two different titles. The king wants to feel like the king. You know what the king is. He wants to be Midas, right? All the abundance, be able to provide. Everything he touches turns to gold, so he can provide whatever it is he wants to provide. Further advice from the universe here. I think don't gossip and don't listen to gossip, especially if you're trying to restore friendships, is the advice from the universe here. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about people talking about your differences, whether it's May, December, or it's different religions and different races or different, whatever your different is. Stop worrying about what other people have to say is what the universe is saying. Or like the song, let's give them something to talk about. How about love instead? but we're not going to sort of live for other people or for society. And outcome. Control. But I think it's getting rid of this, right? It's freedom from this. So they don't have a card that says cutting the strings. That's what it is here. Not paying attention to this, not allowing ourselves to be manipulated. Freedom from that is the outcome. Able to be out and live life out loud and out in the open, however you want to. Same sex, same age, different religion, different culture. One is rich, one is poor, whatever your situation is. One is conservative, one is more out there. Not allowing any of those, any of our friends, so-called friends or family or those social norms to manipulate us or control us. And not even allowing money to control us is coming now too. We're, and this could be connected to the general, because there was a lot of like incoming abundance, but faith is required. Like if you don't believe it, you don't receive it. You know, that's what manifestation is about. And so freeing yourself from this, it's like that devil energy, devil in the tarot, like being overly obsessed about money and material things and being able to provide and not trusting that the universe provides when we follow the other guidance. So especially if you're being moved to, you know, give it another go. Don't worry about what your pocket is saying. Take that leap of faith and see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? A bad date? You know what I mean? So, all right, let's see what the masculine's perspective is this week. So this was like energy that the universe is showing us we can expect. Let's see from the perspective of the masculine, beginning with healing sound. So last week, we had all that healing, for some still happening, emerging, rising from the ashes toward more healing, this white light. I'm using actually white candles for this reading, this week, today, whatever. I didn't put them up specially for the reading, but I've been using white candles. And that's like that white Christ light for me, which is very, very healing. Healing sounds back. And celebration. Actually, this Pentecostal dove is connected to All Saints Day. There's a particular remembrance. I think I talk about this in the general too, like when I read about what All Saints Day is. In the traditional practices that recognizes what are called saints, who were the other people who were risen for the Pentecost, the people that got to witness the Pentecost. So celebration, again, this can be somebody's birthday or the celebration of a reunion also this week, with gifts being having been the overall energy in the other spread. Again, of course, that gift can be an engagement ring or something like that too, something solidifying a commitment, and celebration for those reasons. If we let go of the fear, right? Fear of lack of money, fear of lack of support from our friends, our family, or society, fear of lack of confidence, in ourselves, that's manifesting as fear, all that kind of stuff. If we let go of that and take the leap of faith, then we'll be celebrating. But fear is taken over here. Opening to the mystic. That tells us to pay attention to our intuition. Fear, back. I'll go one more. And we're back to emergence. So definitely on this note, I will cut. And I think this is showing us like the fear can easily be healed away if we allow it. And look at the same colors too in these two cards. A lot more yellow in this one, because this is the person having risen up from this, from the depths of where the darkness was, And again, trying to get closer and closer to this white light. They desire the healing. They want to let this go. It's that easy, basically. Especially with a full moon, because then you have that feminine energy of surrender. Boom. Sacred union. This is what we'll be working out. I won't be surprised if Moon Tree shows up too. Close but no cigar. The overall energy is soulmate, but there is a moon in it. So we've seen sacred union and we've seen soulmate. Is that sacred union again? No. Celebration again. Could be celebrating again these unions. So the feminine about herself this week. The masculine with regard to the feminine. The masculine with regard to himself. With regard to the union. Overall. The outcome. I had to think for a minute if I was feeling to put that there. I started to put it here as far as what the masculine would have the feminine to do this week. And what he himself is willing to, ready to do. And what the universe would have the two do. Golden path. So, feminine very much aware of the healing that she is seeking, through which she is going. This is, for me, the yellow brick road. What is at the end of the yellow brick road but the Emerald City? So for me, this is very much similar. What is at the end of this yellow brick road, this spiritual one, but the emerald ray and the healing of master healers like Archangel Raphael, like Jesus with his white light. And that's what we want. The masculine with regard to the feminine this week. He's afraid. I told you. He needs that freedom from the strings. He can do it. We've been forewarned of what we have to do. And there's a lot more detail toward that, again, in the general. Masculine with regard to himself. He's afraid, but aren't these the two cards I held up together and said, look at the same colors? We can free ourselves from this. Boom. He's afraid, but he wants to. Again, like I said, he wants to rise from the ashes. He wants to heal. The union this week, with as far as he's concerned, more of the same colors, guardian angel. So he can take that leap of faith. He needs protection though. He wants to know that it's there. And he doesn't want you alone either. You've got that guardian angel too. And he's happy about that, especially since he doesn't have necessarily the confidence, and he's worried about having the confidence to be the guardian angel for you. Overall, earth connection. So we can open up the flow to abundance of love and money, and, you know, hook up with Venus, the goddess of both. Again, I think this full moon is of Taurus, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So earth connection, get out there and, you know, commune with nature. Meditate in some way. Like now in New York, it's too cold to just necessarily sit outside. At least it is today. But, you know, a walk with, you know, some headphones, a jog. You can go down to a park. You know, there's still things you can do to connect with nature. I can still walk down to the seaport and the water and do my thing there. Like there are ways that we can incorporate this into our lives to open up that connection and open up that flow. What would the masculine have the feminine to do? Wow. So last week he was working with Jesus toward healing. This week, he's looking for the feminine to do the same. And I'm getting also to pray for him, to help to facilitate his healing through Jesus as well. As a matter of fact, wow, just popped into my head. One of my Divine Light Cleanse clients, when she made her purchase, she heard, she wrote me this message. Oh my God, I have to tell you this. When I sent the order, I heard very, very clearly twice, Jesus, Jesus. And I said, oh, wow, because the masculine, in the reading, the masculine is working with Jesus this week. But maybe he wants you to help. And that's what, and she agreed. Yeah, that's what I was feeling, that I'm being guided to sort of help him to work with Jesus and like facilitate this. So this is what he would have us do this week, which is pretty awesome. What's he willing to do? Oh, because he's working on that healing. He's trying to find that perfect balance, and he's trying to find his voice and, you know, get these things off his mind that he has here. So also we have jumping out in these cards, earth signs and air and water signs here. Again, which sounds a lot like the general reading, actually. Further advice from the universe. What would the universe have the two to do in helping them to fix this? Believe in miracles. Just like I said, about the money, about the fear. That just take the leap of faith, masculine. Don't worry about being a different color, a different religion, a different weight, a different height, a different gender, maybe you changed it, a different of a different poverty level or not. You know, you don't even know what the poverty line is. You've never had to look at that, and you two come from two different parts of the country, parts of the world, uptown and downtown, whatever it is. Believe in miracles, that all these things can work out, and that they don't matter. That they don't matter. That's what we have to do. That's what the universe would have us do. That's the guidance. It is yours to follow or not. Outcome. Boom. So I'm going to follow it. I'm going to get to praying right after I finish recording this to Jesus from my divine masculine. He can let go of his fear. He has an A. So, sacred union, tantric union, soulmate already. And I got another spread to do still. And the masculine was just looking for balance. In some cases, I think it's literal. It's justice that he's looking for, the scales of balance. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Again, justice represented by the goddess Venus and the planet Venus, ruler of Libra. And up into the 6th of summer, which is all about soulmates. Here it's going to be about children, but it's all about soulmates too, and past life relationships in a positive sense. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. The same would go for relationships. Relationships might be ready to be revived. Somebody could be returning to your life. And now the right thing is going to happen. They're going to do the right thing. You're going to do the right thing. Because it's time, right? Divine timing has been at play. Here goes the moon. It's important to trust your intuition. Even if you're unsure of what's happening, all will be revealed soon. So worry is unnecessary. So this sort of repeats what I've been saying to the masculine in particular the whole time. Like, worry is unnecessary. Just take the leap. Just jump. Even if you're unsure of what's happening. If you've been moved to jump, jump. The moon represents the sign of Pisces or other water sign, Cancer, Scorpio. And again, there is a full moon this week. It is a Taurus full moon. Justice. And the Four of Winter. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution. But meditation, so again, like communing with nature and opening that flow up. Meditation and prayer, the feminine praying for the masculine and for herself and for the union as a whole and for all divine unions, all light beings. That's what's going to bring you the answers you seek. Justice and the Wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. This is the same thing as expect miracles. So we're being told twice over already. You can now move forward and make great progress. The Wheel represents the planet Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, but also the fixed signs for me. So Taurus again, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Justice back. I'll go one more. Prince of Autumn. Prince of Autumn. It is important. He's trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. He's also that one that's like slow moving, but he always gets there. It's important to make a detailed plan. He's very methodical, yes, before starting any new endeavor. Once you have the plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Justice. I'm going to cut. Eight of Winter. This is feeling trapped for no reason. It's easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you greater self-confidence if you affirm your freedom. So I told you, or particularly the masculine, you've got to grasp that feeling, freedom. You've got to cut those cords yourself. You got to tell them that they don't exist in your life. You're not afraid of them. They mean nothing to you. The gossip means nothing to you. Nothing can hold you back. The lack of money or your feeling that you have a lack of money, just because you haven't manifested it here, you got to believe that you have it anyway. And that's how you, and that, you know, you're always going, the universe is always going to provide. You have that guardian all the time. And that's how you're going to actually get it here where you need it. But you got to believe first, again, to receive. So this is where this is coming in. You affirm your freedom. You decide this money doesn't limit me. My color doesn't limit me. My religion doesn't limit me. My age doesn't limit me. You know, my gender doesn't limit me. My sexuality doesn't limit me. I'm free of all of, you know, the boxes you tried to put me in and that I helped myself into. Overall energy, the 10 of Winter. The end of a path, project, relationship. It says career path, but I don't really think that's going to come into play in the love reading. I mean, I guess it can. That can affect somebody's pockets or something. And that may be why there's some fear. If your job is changing or ending and you're being directed toward a new path or something. They bring feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. This is evident in the general reading too. That there's some mourning of maybe some situations that are ending. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. We have to, again, believe it in order to receive it. We can't expect to keep having the same difficulties. If we do, we will. Your thoughts become your reality. If you believe, the card said, the universe said, my guide said, the angel said, whatever, you know, whatever it is in which you believe, my gut said, right? The butterflies in my stomach said, my intuition said, things are about to get better for me. So they are. Masculine, 7 of summer. It's time to stop procrastinating and make a decision so you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. So this is the second message in a matter of maybe 2 minutes, where we're told not to overanalyze, not to overthink. Go with those feelings. My gut told me. My intuition told me. And then boom. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career or your love life, your relationships, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. This is the 4 of Wands. It can also be about commitment, like the other spread showed, engagement, marriage, forming some sort of union or reunion. Masculine, subconscious. The 8 of summer. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving on from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Right? Following that gut toward what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. You free yourself toward what you want to do. Feminine, the Princess of Autumn. This is the Page. She's cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. And maybe a Virgo. She can be a Taurus, of course, too, or Capricorn, or anybody taking on those traits. But Virgo is the more youthful of the earth element. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, or relationship, since this is the love reading. But it says such as a promotion or a scholarship is coming your way. Seize the chance to learn something exciting or to start a more rewarding and uplifting career or relationship. I'm going to insert. And also when court cards of the earth element show up for me with regard to a relationship, it denotes like longevity and, that this is a relationship that could really stand the test of time and last. And getting back to that money card from the other spread where I said for some of it, it's the value, right? The worth of the individuals and of the relationship. That's what this says too, as it relates to love. Surrounded by the Fool. Take the leap, regardless of whatever. You are starting a new adventure. Run free. Take a leap of faith. The Dreamer is the Fool in the traditional tarot. And in the feminine subconscious, there is perhaps a Scorpio on her mind, or she's feeling very watery and emotional and loving. Queen of Summer of the court cards of the suit of water does particularly denote Scorpio, but of course can also be Pisces, Cancer, or anybody taking on these attributes or traits this week. There may be a particular, like water sign person or of those behaviors impactful upon your life this week. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So this is that same message again of living your life out loud and out in public how you want to, not how others would have you do it. And it's mirroring the masculine's 7 of summer, mirroring the Queen of Summer, where I said the same thing to him here, choosing whatever he chooses to do, as long as it's for him and not for other people. Crowning. The Princess of Spring to the Page of Wands, essentially. Energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. So some of you could be getting an opportunity to get together, right, with someone about whom you are passionate and to explore those passions. The Princess of Spring or Page of Wands brings opportunity. And it's about stuff that, we're really interested in, we're really passionate about, that really drives us. And it's a card of movement too. So finally, like getting moving. At the root, boom, it's the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini, or perhaps another air sign, Libra, Aquarius. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So this could be a week of Gemini and Scorpio, or air and water, and air and fire, water and earth. Heart of the matter, or fire and earth. Heart of the matter. The Eight of Spring. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. So at first we weren't getting any. Now here they come. While this may feel stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. So again, it's about being thankful and open to receiving and open to believing so that we can receive, right? And vice versa. I'm going to add to these, for more love clarity, the Doreen Virtue Romance Angel Oracle cards. Begin with chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Yes, this is your soulmate. Whoop. Soulmate. You deserve love. You are lovable. This may be the Page of Spring right here. This is the Cupid, because Sagittarius would be the more youthful of the element of fire. This can be a Sagittarius, a Leo, an Aries, but definitely it's the more youthful. And Cupid is a Sagittarius. Soulmate. And make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So that's that repeat message again. We keep hearing that we need to be, follow the feelings and signs toward what it is we're being guided. Follow them and take the leap. Not be afraid to pursue them. Opening to children. Your love life is being affected by children. Soulmate. And pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Soulmate. I'm going to cut. The red flags on this table look pretty good to me. It's the Four of Spring, the Eight of Spring, and the Princess of Spring. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith and then to take a leap of it. Okay, our overall energy is attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So this is sort of like what I was talking about with the Ten of Winter, like what we put out is what we get. So we have to expect love and send out love because that's what we want back. Here atop the Seven of Winter, and I thought these could be children before too. When I saw all these little kitties here. Your love life is being affected by children. So your decision may have something to do with children directly or again with their other parent, which can easily be a karmic situation for you. Here atop the Four of Spring and that need for commitment and happiness and joy that you are to pursue. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. So this should help you with the decision. Atop the Eight of Summer, wanting to move on from whatever this situation is. Again, like I think a karmic situation, wanting to move on because you know, you could be living a better life and a more fulfilling life and joyous life than what you are, then you can do that. You should do that. Pursue new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Atop the Princess of Autumn, let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. Atop the Dreamer and the Fresh Start, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. You could be taking a leap just to do that. You know, some of us can't even talk to each other. Atop the Queen of Summer, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And I think that that is the Queen of Summer, again, Scorpio's aspect of like death to that thing that was chaining me down. Whether it's an actual person or, you know, an emotion, whatever toxic circumstance or situation. Here atop the page, I'm sorry, the page of spring, the Princess of Spring, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Your friend may be like Cupid. Let them help you to go ahead and pursue love. We have that crossing soulmate and sitting here next to the children. So I think it's let your friends help you to move past this situation. Here atop the Lovers, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And that can be where some of us, again, are like dwelling on a decision. What do I do? That may be why you got your answer is stay optimistic, right? True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So that's about what you're staying optimistic. Like regardless of everything else, I hate having to keep repeating what those everything else's could be, but regardless of all those everything else's, you know, from money to physical differences and everything, despite those, follow your heart is what this is saying. And at the heart of the matter, atop the 8 of Spring, romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So where you were not before, all of a sudden there's movement there. Boom. Okay, this is with what you need to deal with whom, masculine. Whatever this karmic energy is for you and for quite a bit of you, I think she is the mother of your children. But that relationship is dead, like long dead, done, gone. You have to free yourself from it though. The free yourself is mirroring the children now. Right? The Scorpio, the energy of death and letting it go is mirroring the children. That doesn't mean let your children go, of course. That's ridiculous. But let go of the prison into which you've put yourself in their regard or supposedly on their behalf because you're not doing them a favor or yourself. Boom. Speak of the children yet again. So this is part of the control issues with the feminine too, you know, where we are this karmic for somebody. We've got to let go of our past situations, circumstances, relationships as well. Masculine, answered prayer. So what you've been hoping for, wishing for, again, it's right here in grasp. You've got to believe in miracles and take the leap toward it. Feminine, heaven on earth. What did I just say? We have something to let go of too. That's exactly what this card means. It means if you want to feel and live heaven on earth, you've got to let go of the things that are making you feel like you're in hell. You've got to let go of your past and the toxic situations, toxic relationships, toxic friendships, toxic life, that, you know, like these emotions and cords that you have to old people, you know, from your past and things like that, your baby daddy and all that kind of stuff. We have to work on this. We've got to get it all, because you have to vacate the space for something new. That's what this card is. When we vacate that space, clear what is cluttering up our love life away, then all of a sudden it's a fresh new environment that's welcoming for that love energy to come in and get settled and, you know, take a spot on the couch and stay there. From the animal tarot to the masculine, the Hermit. You might need to go within and do some thinking. What exactly, you know, do I want? And why have I kept myself from it? And how much longer am I going to continue to do that, if at all? Is this my time? Is this my moment? The angels say it is. The cards say it is. My gut says it is. That's what you'll be learning about yourself. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment. Your growth can help somebody else, like even your children. Feminine, the Page of Winter, Princess of Winter, who is logical, truthful, curious, and it says undiplomatic, because they just blurt stuff out. The Princess of Winter, for me, is often a Gemini, the more youthful of the winter or air element, swords, but can be any air sign, Libra, Aquarius, or anybody taking on these traits. Princess of Winter also shows up when there's been a delay, when we were supposed to do something a long time ago, but we still haven't. Princess of Winter shows up. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. Okay, we've got to be logical here and honest with ourselves. Am I keeping a cord between myself and my ex? Have I failed to cut it? We got to be honest. Am I ready to finally cut it now? Be honest. It's helpful. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. Because again, a Gemini might just spit it out and mean completely well, not mean you any malintent whatsoever, but it may come out really, really horrible. Proper grammar and, you know, correct in that sense, but just not very compassionate. That's not our, you know, our best suit. And then masculine, flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. So like loosen up, let your hair down, put down the heavy baggage and try to get back to, again, living and loving. And lastly, feminine, passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. I think we ended on this last week too. I hope that you guys enjoyed the love reading. I think it makes a lot of sense with what's been going on the past couple weeks, and the other readings that preceded it, and the healing that's happening among us individually and collectively, each archetype, and then one big collective. And if anybody is interested in my help in those areas by way of a reading or, you know, one of my healing, energy healing procedures, divine light cleanse, hit me up. Queenofswords, Thelightworker.com, or Queenofswords, Thelightworker@gmail.com, or on Facebook. If you're interested in being part of our prayer circle on Facebook, you know, friend me, and let's do it. Let's pray together and for each other and our brothers and sisters, and get this vibe, this collective vibe raised. Namaste, angels.